back to Scaling Smarter. I am Ali Taylor, calling in from a Starbucks. So I apologize in advance for any background noise that you might hear. And with me today, as always, is my co-host, Frank Maiorana.
Yes.
How's it going, Frank?
Going well. My environment's a little bit smaller. I'm in a phone booth in my office. So,
Gotcha.
The exact opposite of another. I'm at going well. So how are you? How are you, Ali?
I'm doing well. I'm actually away from my home office today. I just got out of a meeting, pitching a meeting for a messaging and website rebrand. So went pretty well, but it was about 90 minutes away. So I had to get up and avoid the traffic on the Parkway this morning.
Oh, are you North Jersey right now, or are you?
Yeah, I'm actually in Fairlawn right now.
Fairlawn. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I'm in the city today, and I'm not looking forward to the commute home in 100-degree weather. This is not gonna be fun. But,
no, definitely not gonna be fun. I think tomorrow's supposed to be like the worst day, right?
Yeah. Tomorrow's supposed to be worse, and I think it starts to break on Friday. So, if people were wondering, this is a meteorologist weather podcast more as well. So, great.
Yeah, it's good. We're gonna have to call it Sweating Smarter instead of Smarter.
Sweating. Very good. So we had our first Scaling Smarter social.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So what are
how I felt about it? What was your?
I'm asking you first. I started the question first, so you're going first. I'm going second.
Well, listen. Obviously, I love where I live and being able to have everybody come over, even post it for everybody. Was such an awesome thing for me to be able to do. Being able to have like the lights and setting everything up, even though it took a lot of landscaping and preparation. It was just really great to see everybody get to sit back and relax and connect and just have conversations. And so, huge shout out to 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗁 and her team from JNC Innovations, who is also going to be our guest for next week. We just locked that in, so we're really excited about that. But kudos to her and Joe and Lo for just taking care of past serves and bartending service. Like, it was just really fantastic to have the opportunity to sort of like stay, relax and just focus on connecting with my guests and have everything taken care of.
Yeah, I think from a my take is it was great. My take is from a atmosphere standpoint. I think that made a huge difference. I'm really looking forward to our next one on September 17th. So, so obviously look out for your invites. We're looking forward to people there. But yeah, the ability of just kind of having someone that can walk around and kind of refill your drinks, make a drink on the spot, kind of you have someone that's kind of passing out hors d'oeuvres and everything. It really made the night a little bit better than your typical happy hour at a bar. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere where we had the different sitting areas and we had some music. I thought it was great. And like I said, like we're definitely one miss. I think we both agreed on was that we didn't expand what we invited to it on the first go around. So certainly gonna do that, and more likely kind of invite more people, but have a cap on the number of people that we have. We want to make sure that everyone has a chance to actually chat with each other and get to know each other.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would have loved. The original intention was to have everyone who had appeared as a guest on Scaling Smarter to be able to come together. Bring a spouse, bring a significant other, or plus one, so that we can really just sort of connect on a more personal level, where we're not just like flinging business cards at each other and asking, "Oh, what do you do? What do you do?" It's like, well, great, you can go watch my episode and find out all those different things.
Yeah. But and to your point, it's about getting to know each other. Like we had Dave Falcone on here a couple weeks back, and Dave was talking about that networking. And it's not just, you kind of see the people in the networking room when they go and they have the business card, they handshake, what do you do, blah, 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 then they go to the next person, right? It's not what it's about building relationships. It's about getting to know people and understanding, like, I just read a book, and we actually just had the guy speak at our kickoff, our organizational kickoff, because our fiscal starts in June. Um, a guy that wrote 𝗲𝗚𝗄𝗃, who wrote the book, Unreasonable Hospitality,
Ooh,
and
okay.
it's a fantastic story. If you haven't read it, you should definitely grab it. I'll get you a copy if you want. It's awesome, dude. It talks about really the importance of making memorable impressions on people, right? And the importance of listening, the importance of understanding another person's needs, right? And that's what networking should be at the heart of it, right? I want to understand kind of not only what you do, but why do you do it? What do you need? What are you looking for? What are the things that I can maybe help you with? And I'm helping you because selfishly it feels nice to help people, right?
Yeah.
So so it's kind of it was an interesting call, an interesting presentation he gave. The book's fantastic. A little background on him is he ran the #1 restaurant in the world in New York City,
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
what they were known for was kind of this going above and beyond customer service experience. And there's a bunch of examples in there. One of the examples is stolen from an episode in the show Bear. Like so, but
Okay.
like, you wanna
Is that the one where Richie was shining forks for like 45 minutes? Is that episode?
yeah, that's but the hot idea behind it, yeah, because the
Yeah.
rest
Yeah.
of I'm working at it is that one. But yeah, so for a quick plug for anyone out there that listens to this, Unreasonable Hospitality by 𝗲𝗚𝗃. That's a great book and a great learn. Yeah, so that's kind of getting back to the networking piece.
Yeah.
I think that's what we want our events to be. We want to be situations where people actually truly connect and truly get to know each other.
Yeah, 100%. And just going back to that unreasonable hospitality, and we've had 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝘀 from Practice Concepts on a few weeks ago. Again, talking about the hospitality, talking about the atmosphere where you can have different zones where people are, if they want something a little bit more high energy, there's a space for that. If they want some place that's a little bit more quiet, quieter, and they want to be able to have this conversation, to create that. And just really coming from that place of these are our requests. And I think I think that's why you and I have connected so well. So we both come from that space of we're trying to serve the people that we work with.
Yep.
Like we're not just trying to extract what we can get out of them. We're just we want to figure out like how can we serve you? How can we help you? Get what you want. One, because as you said, it does feel good to help people and to serve them. But you create such an environment where it's like, yeah, you serve me, now I want to be able to give that back. I want to reciprocate.
Yeah, 100%, and it's a big part of it. And this ties into when you're dealing with your customers, right? It's meeting them where they are. It's like I can't, not everyone is in the same place within their business. Not everyone's within the same place in their buying cycle. Not everyone's in the same place. So you have to meet someone where they are and kind of bring them along and support them and kind of get into their needed destination. So with that said, Ali, how's the first? We're in July.
Yeah.
It's July 1st, and it's my wife's birthday. So if my wife listens. Kathleen, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Kathleen. Well, do you want to sing? Do you want to sing happy birthday?
No. I didn't want to sing, nor does she want to hear me sing, nor does anybody want to hear me sing. So, what
happened to all of our views? What?
My daughter is a singer of the family, but anyway, yeah. So we're at the halfway point of the year. What are you? And this has been a crazy year with AI and transformation for a lot of people. And like, what are you seeing? What's your feeling on the year? What's your feeling on businesses you're working with?
Yeah, it has definitely been an interesting first half of the year, especially with a lot of the uncertainty, the economic volatility, the advent of AI, and just everyone trying to figure out how they're going to navigate all of these different things that are coming up. It's definitely been an interesting challenge for some to make sense of certain things. But in other places, I'm finding there's a real huge opportunity to deepen the values and ethos and getting back to those first principles. I think I forgot who we were speaking to about that. It might have been 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗁 from Culture Index.
Yep.
And someone else that we were talking about. Yeah, you can have those corporate values printed on the wall, right? But how is that showing up in your business? Where are the opportunities to really deepen that, to extend it, to expand it? And I think that's where, at least that's what my focus is for the second half of the year, is with all of this sort of uncertainty and the fogginess of AI and what all the impacts is going to be, where can we deepen and ground ourselves inside of those first principles? And again, serving the people.
It's an interesting time, because to your point, like there is a lot of uncertainty, but there's also a tremendous amount of opportunity for efficiency for organizations, especially your smaller organizations, if they leverage AI the right way and they leverage their, like we are in a world where we're more connected than ever, but we're in a way we're more disconnected than it's really interesting. What I'm seeing in kind of my world is from a business development standpoint, people are looking for relationships more than anything else. They're looking for partners that they can rely on, partners they can trust, someone that they can reach out and talk to, right? And there's more of a yearning for that than I've seen in the past. A lot of times it was a little bit more about the widget, a little bit more about the, like, listen, at the end of the day, I sell support and I also sell payroll and HR technology, right? And they were leaning a lot on the widget, like what can this shiny tool do? Now, because shiny tools can do so much, they want to know, all right, when I'm in trouble, who can help me? Who's there to support me? And I'm seeing, especially in small businesses, I'm seeing them start to lean into that even more than ever before.
Yeah, that's so important. It's the who can I call? Who's going to be there for me? Who's going to have my back? Right? All these things go crazy, and I can't figure it out, or I realize that I invested in AI and it's not going the way that I wanted. Or, I bought this new software, this tool, and it's just not. I think it is being able to lean on that relationship of like, who's the person I can speak to. That is what will make a difference.
And that's why I've loved doing this, and I'm looking forward to continue to do this throughout the years and kind of years to come, hopefully. We get to bring on some really great trusted partners, and people that business owners can rely on, whether it's Faye and Joe or Seamus, and you named a bunch of Peter, David, whoever it may be, Chris. Really great folks in all different walks of life that can be that. It can be that trusted partner for clients in those areas that they don't, for business owners in those areas that they're not experts, and they're not supposed to be experts. Business owner is not supposed to be an expert unless he's a lawyer in corporate law.
Right.
He's not supposed to be an expert in networking. That's not what he does or she does, right? So you need the right partners. So.
Yeah, I love that you just gave everybody permission to not have to be the expert in everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that's sometimes the expectation that we put on ourselves as business owners, is that we're supposed to know how to do everything. It's like, who told you that?
Well, I think part of it too, I think what business owners sometimes have a hard time with it, is you think about the personality or type of personality that's required in order to take that leap of starting your own business. You're a person that's willing to kind of roll up your sleeves and jump in and go. And often you have a I'll figure it out. Like I'm not waiting, I'm going to
Yeah.
figure it out mentality. So a lot of times when these issues come up, they're so used to just figuring out and grinding through it that the idea of leveraging a partner doesn't necessarily enter their thought process until until they hear other peers kind of like, oh, I leveraged a fractional CFO to help me with whatever, or like, or I leveraged whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, that's something I should do or I should think about doing. So it makes sense, but hopefully, I would love hopefully some of our conversations lead to business owners willing to reach out and look for a helping hand.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And even on the, I was just thinking about something you said. We were talking before about Andy Chen, the work specialist, massage therapist. The question that she asked you when you were talking about some of the pain that you experienced, like, oh, do you have any like unresolved issues towards your dad? Male figure in your life or something?
No, I miss him. I love him.
Which is like, it's a quirky question on the surface. Like if you're not used to speaking in that way, but I've often said similarly that sometimes the way that business owners set up their business does have to do with some of the unresolved issues or things that they haven't.
Yeah.
Right? So if there's someone who maybe grew up not trusting other people, those people struggle with delegating tasks to their employees, even though they hired them. Right? They did went through the whole interview process, but it's like they struggle with letting go and wanting to be in control and having the control of everything. So there is that struggle to delegate or to even ask for help or even to admit that there's something that they don't have it all together.
Well, that's fine. On my LinkedIn, I had and I haven't changed it. It's like all business problems are people problems. All business problems.
I love that.
And it's true because like at the end of the day, the baggage that you bring to your business, you bring all the good stuff, you bring all the bad stuff, you bring all that with you, especially when you're into your business. So you have to know how to address those areas if you want your business to be able to grow. Like if you have a trouble kind of delegating because you're too controlling, that's going to limit your growth, right?
Yeah.
You're on the other end, and you're not good at kind of staying on top of track and keeping track of details, and kind of being somewhat process oriented. That's going to hurt your business. Like you need to fix that as well. So you have to business owner has to know themselves, have to know the people. They have to understand their strengths. That's why what you do is so important when you're talking about, kind of operational procedures for businesses. Like, what do I need to do? Where am I rowing? Where am I rowing?
Yeah.
Where am I trying to go? Most businesses don't have that, and that's why I love the work you do, Ali. And then like someone like Tiffany, who we had on the other. Should these two people be working together? Like, am I matching up?
Yeah.
Is this person really be reporting to this person? Not talking about skill, but just like,
like personality. Yeah.
Is this going to be the most productive environment? So it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and I'm looking forward to the conversations as we go forward.
Yeah, 100%. So being that we are at the beginning of Q3 or H2, what are some of the things that you're focused on? I know that this is one of our top priorities in terms of being able to get the visibility of ourselves out and use this as business development. But what are some of the other priorities or things that you're focused on and that you think businesses that are looking to scale should be focusing on right now?
It's a great question. As far as what I'm focused on, right? I'm a business development. I'm an account executive. So my role is to really just expand the client base of or help help expand the client base of 𝗏𝗃works. And obviously, and part of that is really just communicating with partners. So my focus is really two. One is kind of with that unreasonable hospitality. I want to find as many problems that I can help fix. I want to find as many solutions that I can help grow, and I want to do that with my network. I want to do that with my client base, but I want to take that approach in kind of going above and beyond what the typical sales experience is, and trying to do a better job of truly getting to know what's going on in my prospects world, my network world, and really how can I step in and how can I actually help make a difference for them, genuinely, and I do the best I can in that, but you can always think you can do better. So that's a focus of mine. And that and obviously the other piece is helping small business owners get the word out through scaling smarter, help consultants get the word out. Those are really my two focal points. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same in terms of the radical or unreasonable hospitality. Being able to deepen and expand the way that I show up for my clients and the people that aren't my clients, even if they're not paying me money, right? Like that's kind of a shift that I want to have for myself. Or that's a shift that I have for myself now, in terms of even if they're not paying me money, they're not to my clients. If they're interacting with me with my content, if they are coming to hear me speak. 𝗲𝗵𝗀𝗀 and I, we're going to be partnered together to do a workshop to help people who are like a lot of these new salespeople, like, they get hired at these companies and they're sort of just given the edict to go out and network and find new business, but they're not really shown how. And then even to this day, even established businesses do not use their CRMs effectively if they even have one.
Yep.
So we're going to be working to kind of address like those two parts.
I am expecting an invite, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, it's already in the mail.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really important to be able to help other business owners, other salespeople, and really coming from that mindset of, look, even if you never pay me, you never hire me, if in some way we've interacted together, we've interacted with content, it helps you be a better business owner, it helps you be a better salesperson, and therefore you create a better experience for the people that you're working with. That's a win-win for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, no, makes that's true. It's 100% true. So with all of that said, we are we're at the halfway mark of the year. We have a couple of really good guests coming up. I know we have invites out to a bunch of good people. So looking forward to the further conversations that we're going to have. Like, we're going to have Michael Bruno, who's going to talk about why he joined the franchise after coming from the corporate world, the media world.
Which is going to be hugely important for a lot of people who are making that transition or being forced to make that transition, as some corporations laid people off and now they've got to figure something new. So why not take the shot?
100%. And then we also, obviously, you mentioned Jackie's going to be joining us, talking about events, and making events are a really important part of growing your business, right? You if you put something on, what do you have to keep in mind? A lot of times you do customer appreciation events. Sometimes you do employee events, but what's really important is, that's your chance to leave a mark on somebody, and what do you need to keep in mind? Michael Hayes, right? Is talk about. You can talk a little bit about that. What Michael's
So Michael's gonna be talking about, he's a go-to market strategist. He's written, the name of his company is Listen, Innovate, Grow. He has this whole AIR method, really help you figure out, like, how do you go to market? How do you bring a product or service and really make sure that it's something that is going to serve the market, that there actually is the market to serve. So it's going to be a great conversation, especially as we are kind of entering into the second half of the year. Look, if the first year hasn't gone the way that you wanted, you know, the game's not over yet. Right? There's still an opportunity to turn things around. So I think just these three conversations are going to be such a massive contribution to anybody that's looking to kind of, end the year strong.
And I'm really excited about Michael, and he's coming out. We're coming on 22nd to hear Michael's thoughts about the ideal client profile, right? Everyone and kind of what is it, but digging in and how that needs and that must be addressed, or your marketing strategy or how you reach out to that has to match your ideal clients, has to match where they're buying. Everyone's not the same. Everyone's not buying on Instagram. Everyone's not buying on where are they? And what is the best way to reach those people? I'm super excited for that conversation. So.
Yeah, and he's gonna be calling in from New Zealand. So Scaling Smarter has gone super
got international. Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, but listen, this is so excited. I'm Ali, as we talked about at the event. I appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that we're on this journey together and trying to grow this thing. So thank you. I do appreciate that.
Yeah. No. Listen. Extreme gratitude over here. I've put out different live streams and things before. And it was fun, but it is a lot more fun when you have a partner who is on the same page as you, sees things the same way as you, and wants to serve people to the same degree you do as well. And so this has been a fun ride so far, and I'm looking forward to the next half of the year brings and beyond that.
Yeah, let's go. All right, my friend. All right, everybody. All right, we'll see you next week, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, we'll be here with Jackie.
All right, have a happy 4th.
Thanks. You too. You too. Enjoy.
Take care. Bye-bye.